Scratch the 9 Sharp Gizmo Sick. The 10 Whip Smart will score from the second tier, being led to the post by outrider Kathy Hawk. The 1 is Sea Dawn, owned in partnership by Ayers Ratcliffe of Marion, Ohio, and John Wodek of Parma Hills, Ohio, trained by Mark Sundstrom. Drivers changed to Jim Daly. Number 2 is Freddie Spaghetti, owned by Glenn Preston Addy in Norwich, Ohio, trained by Jay Addy with Bob Harper. The 3 Montana Stan, owned by Joseph Nichols of Groveport, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. The 4 is Appointment Log, owned by Roy Murphy and Richard Stevens, both of the Buckeye State, trained by Roy Murphy, Ace Nicehonger. The 5 is Hootie Figgins, owned by Clarence You Can Call Me Sonny DeLong of Orient, Ohio, trained by Daryl Hoosier with Adam Rucker. The 6 is Western Attorney, owned by Barnett Zimmerman of Deerfield, Illinois, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. with Scioto Downs leading driver Brett Miller. The 7 is Tucson Powell, owned by Jim Duckworth of Canal, Winchester, Ohio, who also trains Kyle Wader, the pilot. With the 8 Dots Big Guy, owned by Joseph Shemai of Lexington, Kentucky, trained by Mike Riley, Ryan Goldenhand Stall, the driver. Scratch the 9 Sharp Gizmo Sick and the 10 Whip Smart, owned by Mullen and Morgan of the Bluegrass State, trained by Glenn Collins, J.D. Perrin, and the Sulky. That's the field for the first race. The first half of the early double exact is in tries. The 1 Sea Dawn, the driver Jim Daly. Scratch the 9 Sharp Gizmo Sick, the 10 Whip Smart of the second tier. Post time 7:35, 7 minutes away. The gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and driving out of their middle of the track. Appointment Log gets the first call. Driving through from the inside, Freddie Spaghetti. From the rails, Sea Dawn is away in third. Fourth from the second tier, Whip Smart. Fifth on the inside, Montana Stan of the K-Man there. Angle to the pylons in sixth. Western Attorney followed in seventh there. That is Tucson Powell in eighth, and trailing the field as they step around the first turn and over to the opening quarter. Dots Big Guy backed off the wings of the starting gate there, and ninth and trailing the field as they reach the opening quarter. That is Hootie Figgins. The opening quarter came and went in 29 seconds flat, and on by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half. And Sea Dawn was not content with a pocket trim, so Sea Dawn is up on the outside here and has taken the lead by 2. To the inside, Freddie Spaghetti has yielded for that garden spot in 2. Sent first over on the rim in third. That is Montana Stan. At the pylons, racing in fourth, that is Appointment Log. Second over on the outside, racing in fifth as they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the Pentagon over to the half. That is Whip Smart. Sixth on the inside, Western Attorney, who is third over there now, slipping to the outside, and fourth over on the outside. That's Dots Big Guy racing in seventh. Eighth there along the inside as they travel down the backside off the half in 58 and 3/5. That is Tucson Powell in ninth and trailing Hootie Figgins. Down the backside, less than 3/8 of them how to travel. Up top, Sea Dawn with a lead here by a length. To the outside, Montana Stan. Right there at the leader's wheel disc in 2. Second over the outside, racing in third now. That is Whip Smart at the pylons in fourth. Freddie Spaghetti buried at the pylons in 5. Appointment Log 3/4 in 1:28 and 1/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and on top, Sea Dawn with a lead here. To the inside, Montana Stan is sticking right with him in 2. To the outside in third, Whip Smart, and fourth on the outside, Western Attorney to the top of Power Alley. Less than an eighth of them how to go, and down the stretch they come, and Sea Dawn with a lead here. One more shot for Montana Stan, who is coming at him and coming on. Sea Dawn to the inside is desperate. Montana Stan, Sea Dawn, Montana Stan, Sea Dawn hangs on to win it. Montana Stan to go second. Whip Smart was third. Down with a mile 1:58 flat. Sea Dawn. The official winner of the first race, the 1 Sea Dawn, timed at 1:58 flat for the 5th win in 2004. A 6-year-old brown gutting by Nukes himself out of an Egyptian dancer mare, Dancing Amy, owned by Ayers Ratcliffe of Marion, Ohio, and John Wodek of Parma Hills, Ohio, trained by Mark Sundstrom. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Jim Daly. The 1 Sea Dawn and Jim Daly, home a winner in 1:58 flat. Changes, the 1 is Vienna's Boy, owned by James Davis, 11 in Ohio, trained by Brandon Piggott with Brett Miller. Number 2 is Peg and Pete, owned by Terry Garrett of Dayton, Ohio, trained by Scott Ferguson with J.D. Perrin. The 3 is Mystic Howard, owned by Reed Racing of the big city of Newark, Ohio, trained and driven by Dean Collins. The 4 is Cabana Kid, owned in partnership by Ken Cohen, Pacey Mindlin, Gross, they're of Ohio and Pennsylvania, trained by Sammy Coven with Jeff Fount. The 5 is Zodiac Mac, owned by Jerry Webb and Gene Humphrey of Columbus, Ohio, trained by Daryl Hoosier with Adam Rucker. The 6 is Bikini Kinda Guy, owned in partnership by Dan Stone and Eddie Pulling. 11 in Ohio, trained by Eddie Pulling with Bob Harper. And for the outside of the 7, Santa Ana Sam, owned and trained by J. Tom Gray at Dayton, Ohio, Ryan Goldenhand Stall in the sulky. That's the field for the second race. Second half of the early double. Exactas and tries. A field starting 8 swings into the back stretch, and there they go. Field in motion. They're all fan pacing and driving away from the inside. There goes Mystic Howard up on the outside of there. Santa Ana Sam inside Vienna's Boy to join the fray. There is now backing off in third. A gap of a length and a half in 4. That is Peg and Pete at the rail racing in 5 there. That is Cabana Kid. Angle to the pylons in 6. Zodiac Mac followed in 7th and trailing the field by Bikini Kinda Guy. In single file formation as they race around the first turn and over to the initial quarter, being led up top by Mystic Howard on the point here. The opening quarter came and went in a snappy 27 1/5, and now rolling up at the outside of Vienna's Boy, and Vienna's Boy is brushing to the top here. Mystic Howard is yielding for that pocket trip in 2. Santa Ana Sam to the inside in 3rd. 4th there is Peg and Pete. 5th is Cabana Kid, followed by the 2 trailers here of Zodiac Mac and Bikini Kinda Guy as they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock and on over to the half. Being led up top here by your 6 to 5 punter's choice. Vienna's Boy and Brett Miller's going to zing him to the half in 56 seconds flat. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 and Vienna's Boy on top here. Leading it by a length and a half to the inside. Mystic Howard is racing into a gap in 1 there in 3rd. That is Santa Ana Sam, followed in 4th at the pylons by Peg and Pete, who's now locked in. Outside in 5, Cabana Kid. Swung up 3 wide in 6. Zodiac Mac in 7th and trailing Bikini Kinda Guy. They're racing towards 3/4 and Vienna's Boy has got loose on the frontier. 3/4, 1:24 3/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Vienna's Boy looks to be on a mission here. Under a crack of the whip from the hitman there, and is opened up by 7 to the top of Heartbreak Lane. Less than an eighth of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come, and Vienna's Boy is all over this field here and is rolling away within the final 16th. Vienna's Boy opening up with every single stride. Vienna's Boy well in hand and well in command. Finishing second, the 5, Zodiac Mac. Third was the 3, Mystic Howard at the time of the mile, 1:53 4/5. Vienna's Boy in a new lifetime mark. Trackside of the winner's circle. Very nice effort here in a new lifetime mark, a 1:53 4. Scoring from all the rail, the 1, Vienna's Boy. For the 7th win in 2004, a 6-year-old bay gutting by Anna Happy Boy. Head of a Brett's Champ Bear, Vienna's New Moon. Owned by James Davis, 11 in Ohio, trained by Brandon Piggott. Nicely handled here this evening by Scioto Downs' leading driver, dash winning driver in all of North America, Brett Miller. The 1, Vienna's Boy, home a winner in a new lifetime mark, 1:53 4/5. On a ZR Golden Beach, owned by Bradley Nielsen of Pataskala, Ohio, trained and driven by Bob Harper. For the 2 is True Magic, owned by Reed Racing in the big city of Newark, Ohio, trained and driven by Dean Collins. The 3, Midway John is out sick. The 4, Activator, owned by the Brittany Farms of Versailles, Kentucky, trained by Dan Ader with Cal Ader, the reinsman. The 5 is Truly Cam Star, owned in partnership by Schmitz Sr. of Carroll, Ohio, and Schmitz of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, trained and driven by Jim Daly. Well, the 6 is Mark Superstar, owned by Winchester Bakers Incorporated of Powell, Ohio, trained by Daryl Hoosier with Adam Rucker. Well, the 7, Jenny's Wild Child, owned by Stephen Watkins of Sydney, Ohio, trained by Dan McClock with Trent Tharps. Well, the 8, Silk Boxers, owned by Esther Crownover of MacArthur, Ohio, trained by Earl Owings, Jeff Fount. Enter the outside of the 9, Daredevil Art, owned by Wiseman of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Laces of Ohio, trained by Dan Wiseman, Jeff Ace Nicehonger, in the sulky. That's the field for the 3rd race. Exacta trifecta wagering. Scratch the 3, Midway John Sick. The 8, Silk Boxers, Jeff Fount. And they're getting set for a start. This field is in motion. Bang. sent on their way. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the outside. Mark Superstar gets the first call there off the wings of the starting gate from the inside. True Magic comes away racing in two. Up on the outside, forwardly placed in third, Jenny's Wild Shout as they wheel by the opening eighth and over to the opening quarter. From the rail racing in fourth, that is ER Golden Beach, followed closely in fifth by Truly Cam Star. The pylons in sixth, Activator, and the two trailers here are Silk Boxers and Daredevil Art backed off the wings of the starting gate. Can see them all through the initial quarter at 27 4/5. Racing on by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half, and Mark Superstar and Adam Rucker on the point here, leading it by a length and a quarter. Into the inside, racing into True Magic is right there, stalking in second. Along the inside in third, that is Jenny's Wild Child. Sent first over the outside in fourth. Here comes ER Golden Beach to tackle the leaders here. Catching that cover, second over the outside. Racing in five, that is Activator. Pinned at the pylons, racing in six as they step around the paddock, in front of the paddock and on over to the half. That is Truly Cam Star. And they reach the half in 57 3/5. A second quarter at 29 4. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards three quarters, being led by Mark Superstar up top here. Less than 3/8 of a mile to go. Inside in two, that is True Magic. First over Venture on the outside in third, ER Golden Beach. Second over the outside, racing in fourth. And lurking in the weeds there, very boldly looming the danger. That's Activator at the pylons in fifth. That is Jenny's Wild Child. They went three quarters in 1:26 1/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. And Mark Superstar is trying to make every pull a winning one. To the inside, ER Golden Beach is racing in two. True Magic is off the pylons and still three wide of the outside. Activator to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to pace, and they're on their way home. Driving through Heartbreak Lane. Up top, Mark Superstar. Here's the pocket rocket. True Magic coming at him and coming on. Mark Superstar. True Magic is going to get up to win it here. Mark Superstar to go second. Third was the four Activator. The time of the mile 1:55 flat. True Magic. Is the invitational handicap pace at 1 mile person, $9,000. Kicking off the early pick three, Exactas and Tries, a field of six, no changes. The one is up front leader with the Wingfield brothers at Kenton, Ohio, trained by Mike Metters with Bob Harper. Well, the two is Epps, owned by Vivian Shively Lang of Hamilton, Ohio, trained by Jim Artledge with a K-man, Kane Kaufman. Number three is Norman Feeney, owned by Leslie Lane of Ostrander, Ohio, trained by Jim Pollock Jr., Jim Daly. The four is Spastic, owned by Jerry and Marjorie Bookmeyer of Sycamore, Ohio, trained by Jerry Bookmeyer, Matt Lambert. The five, Devil's Music, by Kathy S. of Troy, Ohio, trained by David Bodenmiller, Jeff Fount. In the six, Rusty Water, track record holder for an age pacing gelding here at Scioto Downs over the Eagle Country Stables Incorporated of Olivet, Michigan, trained by George Anthrop, Brett Miller, and the Sulky. That's the field for the fourth race, the invitational handicap. Exactas Tries, early pick threes, a field of six, no changes. Handicap pacers from the rail out. Up front leader, Epps, Norman Feeney, Spastic, Devil's Music, and Rusty Water on the outside. A field of six, moving up and moving in. The Albert starting gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. This field is in motion. Bang, sent on their way in the invitational handicap pace. From the inside, there goes up front. Leader driving out for the lead. Middle of the track, Spastic is on the go there. Away in third, Epps. Fourth to the pylons, Norman Feeney. Fifth on the inside, Devil's Music. Sixth and trailing, Rusty Water through the early stages here. Wheeling by the opening eighth and over to the opening quarter. Being led up top here on the front end by up front. Leader and Bob Harper on the point, leading it by a length and a half. To the inside, Spastic yielded for that garden spot. Racing into Epps is watching over the top two from third as they reach the opening quarter in a quick 27 seconds flat. And along the inside, racing in fourth, that is Norman Feeney, who's wheeled off the pylons there in ascent. First over the outside, fifth after a gap of 2.5. Devil's Music, sixth and trailing Rusty Water, rolling under the wire with less than 5/8 of a mile to travel and entering the clubhouse turn. On top of the field, up front, leader with a lead tier to the outside into Norman Feeney is now up on the outside, pressuring the pace in second. Spastic to the inside is watching over the doing leaders from third. They're halfway home, 55 4/5. Second over the outside, racing in fourth. That is Devil's Music, pinned in at the pylons in 5. Epps in sixth and trailing Rusty Water. 3 in, 3 out. Down the back side they go. On top of the field, up front, leader with a lead tier. And to the outside, Norman Feeney still applying that pressure in 2. Along the rail, Spastic in third. Sent up 3 wide and with a sweeping move here comes Rusty Water, and Rusty Water is 3 wide and circling towards the leaders here. 3/4 and 1:23 and 4/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. Up top from the inside, up front leader. In between them, Norman Feeney. Rusty Water still 3 wide, ready to be angled 4 wide. That's Devil's Music in the passing lane. That'll be Spastic to the top of the stretch. Less than an eighth of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Up front leader to the outside. Rusty Water coming at him and coming on. Up the inside. Here's Spastic rolling onto the scene, and Spastic to get it all. Finishing second, the 6. Rusty Water close for third. May have been the 2 Epps. The time of the mile, 1:52 and 3/5. Spastic in a perfect drive by Matt Lambert. The official winner of the 4th race, the Invitational Handicap pace, timed at 1:52 and 3/5 after a perfect steer. Here from Matt Lambert is the 4 Spastic, a 6-year-old brown gelding by Camtastic out of an Albert mare, Lady Owl, owned by Jerry and Marjorie Bookmeyer of Sycamore, Ohio, trained by Jerry Bookmeyer. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Matt Lambert. The 4 Spastic, home a winner in 1:52 and 3/5, virtue of the super stretch. Here are the parading pacers. The 1 is Tully Hanover, owned by Carl May of Bell Center, Ohio, trained by Perry Lambert with the hitman Brett Miller. Well, the 2 is Lighthouse Special, owned and trained by Paul Cruz of Miamisburg, Ohio, with the K-man Kane Kaufman. The 3 is Menard Times, owned by Mary Randall of Miamisburg, Ohio, trained by Paul Simpson with Tony Rose. The 4 is Cowboy Casino, owned and trained by Ken Drake of Delaware, Ohio, Dave Setzer. The 5 is Inmate, owned and trained by Tom Horner Jr. of Dayton, Ohio, Jeff Fout, the pilot. The 6 is King Aura, owned and trained by Roy Murphy of Menden, Ohio, with Jeff Ace Nicehonger. The 7, Noble Alex, owned by Jim Chaliff of Cincinnati, Ohio, trained and driven by Jim Daly. From Post A to the 8, Nick Kress, owned and trained by John Nelson, Perrin 11 Ohio, J.D. Perrin is up. For the outside of the 9, Mr. McGregor, owned by Winchester Bakers Incorporated of Powell, Ohio, trained by Daryl Hoosier with Adam Rucker. And for the second tier, the 10, Carolina Bob, owned and trained by Dick James, 11 Ohio, Justin Hall, in the sulky. That's the field for the 5th race. Condition pace, exacta, trifecta, superfecta. This field is in motion. Superfecta pacers being sent on their way. They're all fan pacing and firing away from the inside. There goes Tully Hanover from the middle of the track. King Aura's driving out. Also headed out for Command Cowboy Casino. From the rail in 4, that is Lighthouse Special. Angle to the pylons in 5 Menard Times. Hung to the outside there in 6th and marching on. That is Mr. McGregor. 7th from the second tier, Carolina Bob. 8th on the inside, that is Inmate. Followed by the 2 trailers of Noble Alex and Nick Kress. Can see them all as they race by the opening quarter. The opening quarter came and went in 27 and 2/5. On by the stands for the first time and heading on down to the half. On top of the field, King Aura and Ace Nicehonger up top here on the point, leading it by a length and a half. To the outside, 3 wide of the outside. Here's Mr. McGregor, and Mr. McGregor is circling up here on the outside, looking to take the lead as they enter the clubhouse turn. To the inside, King Aura is battling with Mr. McGregor, and King Aura has given Mr. McGregor the cold shoulder here. Inside, racing in 3rd, that is Tully Hanover, watching over the dueling leaders there. 2nd over the outside, racing in 4th as they march off the half in 57 and 4/5. 2nd over the outside in 4th, that is Cowboy Casino, pendant at the pylons in 5. That is Lighthouse Special, swung up 3 wide. Here comes Carolina Bob. Down the back side they go. Less than 3/8 of them how to travel. From the inside, King Aura, Mr. McGregor, the torture chamber mile on the outside in 2. 3 wide of the outside. That is Carolina Bob. In between them, racing in 4th. That is Cowboy Casino at the rail in 5th. Tully Hanover all locked up. There is Lighthouse Special. 3/4 and 1:28 and 2/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and King Aura still there with the lead. And to the outside, Mr. McGregor is racing in 2. Swung up 3 wide of the outside. Now Cowboy Casino has found clearance and desperately looking for racing room. That is Tully Hanover to the top of Power Alley. Less than an eighth of them how to pace it another way home. And Down the stretch they come. King Aura with the lead. Move to the inside. Here's Tully Hanover way outside. Here's the 7 Noble Alex, who is charging hard, but at the wire, Tully Hanover is getting up to win into the super stretch. Finishing second, the 7 Noble Alex. Third was the 4 Cowboy Casino. The time of the mile, 1:58 and 3/5. Tully Hanover. Card for Mr. Miller, giving him a driving double. The 1 Tully Hanover, 484.40, 360. Second, the 7 Noble Alex, returning 544.20. Third of the 4 Cowboy Casino, 560. The 1-7 exact, 42.20. The 1-7-4 try, 355 even. The 1-7-4-6 super, $8 ticket now is worth $1,474.80. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the world's youngest announcer, 11 years old, Washington Courthouse, Ohio's very own Tyler Smith.
Here's your field for the 6th, the claiming handicap purse, $6,000. Number 1, Meals on Wheels, Bobby Harper. Number 2, Raise the Bar with Jeff Fout. Number 3, Bachelor Prince with Brett Miller. Number 4, Stinky Fling gets J.D. Perrin. Number 5, Meadowland Shuffle, Jim Daly. Number 6, Love 'em and Leave 'em, Kyle Ader. And number 7, Reasonable Doubt, Ryan Stalls and his Sonky.
Well, the upcoming 6th race, again, that's the voice of Tyler Smith, the world's youngest announcer, 11 years old, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. And Tyler's going to be in Delaware, Ohio tomorrow afternoon to do a race up there in Delaware. And Tyler, how did you get involved in the business? I know your dad, Jeff, trains and drives horses, but tell us a little bit how you got involved.
Well, they always told me I'm good at announcing, and every time we race, me and my older brother and my younger brother, Trevor. They're at the gate. A field of 7 from the rail out. Meals on Wheels, Raise the Bar, Bachelor Prince, Stinky Flynn, Meadowland Shuffle, Love 'em and Leave 'em, Reasonable Doubt on the outside. Here they come. They're off and pacing. The first call goes to the 4. Stinky Flinch from the inside. Raise the Bars pacing second. Up on the outside. Love 'em, Leave 'em in third. Reasonable Doubts pacing right there in second now as they roll in the first turn. Love 'em, Leave 'em with the lead. Reasonable Doubt pacing second. Stinky Flynn third. Pacing fourth. That's Bachelor Prince. 5's Raise the Bar. 6 Meals on Wheels. And 7 that is Meadowland Shuffle as the field rounds off the first turn off an opening quarter in 27 and 4. Oh, in the front, and that's Kyle Ader and Love 'em and Lead 'em. Up on the outside, here comes Brett Miller and Bachelor Prince now to take the front end, pacing third along the rail. That is Reasonable Doubt, pacing 4. That is the rail. Stinky Flynn to the outside in 5. That is Raise the Bar along the outside in 6. That's Meadowland Shuffle. And as they roll down the backside, off a half in 56 and 2. Down the backside they go. Brett Miller's got Bachelor Prince on the front end. Pacing second, Love 'em and Lead 'em. Up on the outside out of 3-0 trip. Here comes Ryan Stall and Reasonable Doubt as they're running off the backside, getting ready to go into 3/4. Still with the lead, Bachelor Prince. Up on the outside, here comes Reasonable Doubt. Love 'em and Leave 'em in third. Off 3/4 and 126 and flat as they're rounding off the far turn and heading for home. Down the stretch they come with the lead. Bachelor Prince to the outside. That is Reasonable Doubt. Pacing in 3. That is Love 'em and Lead 'em with an 1/8 of a mile left to travel. Bachelor Prince with the lead. Reasonable Doubt's trying to catch him, but I don't think he's going to catch him tonight. It's all Bachelor Prince. Second was Reasonable Doubt. Third was the 1 Meals on Wheels. 1:55 and 2. 7-1 official. Back into the winner's circle for the 6th. a claiming pace. Purse was $6,000. That's the 3 Bachelor Prince. Mach 5 Racing Stable of Springsboro, Ohio owns Virgil Morgan Jr. Does the training. Brett Miller, that's 3 for Brett Miller tonight. He scores with Bachelor Prince and 155 and 2.
And oh boy, I hope Ed Ryan's not out there listening anywhere. Tyler Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the world's youngest announcer, Tyler Smith. Bring him home for race number 6. One is Studley Lamont, owned by John Bryan Georges of Wilmington, Ohio, trained by Calvin Wright, Adam Rucker. The 2 is Brooklyn's Rock, owned by Mullen and Morgan. They're the Bluegrass State, trained by Glenn Collins, J.D. Perrin. The 3 is Maxine's Believe, owned by Margaret Haller of Chillicothe, Ohio, trained by Dan Ader, Kyle Ader, the pilot. The 4 is Beauregard, owned by Tammy Brandon and Marilyn Robbins of Greenville, Ohio, trained by Eric Walker, Brett Miller. The 5 is Bad Boy Justin, owned by Karen Seifert of Mount Sterling, Ohio, trained by John Tatum, Bob Harper. The 6, Cam's Magic Gator, owned by Jerry Andrews of Marysville, Ohio, trained by Dave Yoder, Ace Nicehonger. Number 7, Gigabyte Bluegrass, owned by Carl May of Bell Center, Ohio, trained by Fred Winstead Jr., the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. Enter the outside of the 8, Hit the Beach, owned by Joseph Shemaiah of Lexington, Kentucky, trained by Mike Riley, Ryan Goldenhand Stall, in the sulky. That's the field for the 7th race, exacta trifecta wager. 8 swings into the back stretch, and there they go. This field is in motion. They're all fan pacing and driving away from the inside. There goes Maxine's Belief, who's firing out for command here. Middle of the racetrack, the 5 Bad Boy Justin is trying to land that garden spot in 2. From the rails, Studley Lamont is racing in 3rd. Coming away in 4th, Brooklyn's Rock. Angle to the pylons in 5, Beauregard. 6th on the inside, Cam's Magic Gator, followed by the 2 trailers, a Gigabyte Bluegrass. And Hit the Beach, can see them all in single file formation as they race around the first turn and over to the initial quarter. The initial quarter is going to be set off here in 29 2/5 as they drive on by the stand for the first time, and these are soft fractions up top for Maxine's Belief and Kyle Ader out there on the point, leading it by a length and a half. Into the inside, Bad Boy Justin is stalking in 2, sent first over the rim, racing in 3rd, Studley Lamont, 2nd over the outside, racing in 4th, trying to catch that cover, that is Brooklyn's Rock. 5th in a ground-saving journey, that's Cam's Magic Gator, 3rd over the outside, racing in 6th as they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock and on over the half, that is Beauregard. 7th along the rail, Gigabyte Bluegrass, and 4th over on the outside and trailing the field in 8th, that's Hit the Beach. They're halfway home, 59 4/5. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 from the outside. Studley Lamont is trying to clear to the frontier. Battling back at the rail, that is Maxine's Belief, and now sent up 3 wide of the outside. Here's Bad Boy Justin, and off stride went the 3, Maxine's Belief, as they race towards 3/4 from the outside. Now Bad Boy Justin clearing to the front. Inside, Studley Lamont is trying to go with him in 2 at the pylons in 3rd. Cam's Magic Gator, 3/4 and 128 1/5, and off stride went the 6 Cam's Magic Gator as they turn to the top of Power Alley. Less than an 1/8 of a mile to go, and down the stretch they come. Bad Boy Justin being set down on top of the lead. To the outside, coming at him and coming on. Here's Beauregard, and Beauregard is rushing on here. Beauregard to give Brett Miller a grand slam on this evening's card. Bad Boy Justin to go 2nd. Hit the Beach was 3rd at the time of the mile, 1:57 flat. Beauregard. The Rays claiming pace, timed at 1:57 flat for the 4th win in 2004. Here's the 4, Beauregard. A 5-year-old bay gelding by Incredible Finale out of an Albatross mare, Grand Banks, owned by Tammy Brandon and Marilyn Robbins of Greenville, Ohio, trained by Eric Walker. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Brett Miller. That's 4 wins on this evening's card for Brett, giving him a grand slam on this evening's card. 1:57 flat, the 4, Beauregard. Home winner returning 460, 260, 260. 2nd, the 5, Bad Boy Justin, 260, 280. 3rd of the 8, Hit the Beach, returning 560. 4-5 exacta is worth 1420. 4-5-8 try, 173 even. America right now, and he's the leading driver for the 2004 season right here at Scioto Downs, and it's the third time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the 2004 leading driver, purple and white, Brett Miller. The next man, I doubt he needs any introduction as well. He's in the top 10 in all of North America for dash wins in the training category of the 10th straight year here at Scioto Downs as the leading trainer. He's one of the leading trainers in all of North America. Of the 10th straight year, he's the leading trainer here at Scioto Downs. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Virgil Morgan Jr. Well, this duo this year has surpassed many milestones and many marks. The one is Belly Button, owned by Kathleen Borchers of Bellbrook, Ohio, trained by Daryl Whitaker with Brett Miller. Number 2 is Early Sam with the Arnold Stable, Washington Courthouse, Ohio, trained by Scott Mogan with Adam Rucker. The 3 is JC Pride, owned by Todd Luther of Columbus, Ohio, trained by John Robinson with Jim Daly. The 4 is College Corner Jack, owned in partnership by Gilmore, Rogers, and Batchy Jr. They're of Ohio and Florida, trained and driven by Rick Heitman. The 5 SS Towner by William and Sharon Worley of Springboro, Ohio, trained by William Worley with a K-Man, Kane Kaufman. The 6 is Stolen Property, owned and trained by John Ackley of Washington Courthouse, Ohio, with Ryan Goldenhand Stoll. The 7 is Firm Decision by Almond, Collins, and Collins. They're of Ohio and Florida, trained and driven by Dean Collins. The 8 is Firm and Burn, partnership of Dan Ader of Clarksburg, Ohio, and Larry Gates of Chillicothe, trained by Dan Ader, Cow Ader. For the outside of the 9, Cold Andrew, owned and trained by Ron Newton at Clarksville, Ohio, Jeff Fout. And for the second tier, number 10, Heartwarming, with the Nichols Stable of Indianapolis, Indiana, trained by Joe Essick, Jeff Ace Nicehonger, Yen Hersalke. That's the field for the 8th race. Go. This field is in motion. They're all fan pacing and rolling away from the inside. There goes JC Pride right alongside SS Towner. The K-Man has sent this one wheeling out from the inside. Belly Button is away in 3rd. Driving over the outside in 4th, that is Firm Decision. 5th at the pylons, Early Sam. Outside in 6th, Stolen Property. 7th to the inside of there, that is College Corner Jack. 8th on the outside, that is Firm and Burn. 9th from the second tier, Heartwarming. And 10th and trailing the field and tipping up there, that is Cold Andrew. They race over to the opening quarter in 27 4/5 and come rolling on by the stand for the first time and heading on down to the half and rolling up on the outside here. Firm Decision, and Dino is rolling right onto the top. Inside, JC Pride is yielded for that pocket trip, racing in 2. Off stride of the back went the 10, Heartwarming. Along the rail in 3rd, SS Towner. 4th, that is Belly Button. 5th and tipped up there, that is Early Sam. 6th along the inside as they step around the clubhouse turn and on over to the paddock in front of the half, that is Stolen Property. As they reach the half, they're halfway home, 55 4/5 off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4, and Firm Decision is trying to bottom out this field, leading it by 2. Into the inside, JC Pride is giving Feudal Chase in 2nd, a gap of 3.5 in 3rd. SS Towner outside in 4th and swung up 3 wide there. That is Firm and Burn. In between them, College Corner Jack is racing in 5th. 6th there along the inside, Belly Button. 7 to the rail, Stolen Property. 8th on the outside, that is Cold Andrew, followed in 9th as they race by 3/4 and 125 flat. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Firm Decision with a lead here. JC Pride is still there, racing in 2. We're down to these 2 with less than 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come. Firm Decision with a lead here. JC Pride is getting no closer in 2nd as they roll within the final 16th. This is Firm Decision. Firm Decision in front. JC Pride to go 2nd. Stolen Property rolled onto the scene for 3rd at the time of the mile, 1:54 and 2/5. Firm Decision and a new lifetime mark. It's time to 1:54 and 2 for a new lifetime mark, scoring the 4th win in his career, the 7 Firm Decision. Now your official winner, a 3-year-old son of Firm Belief out of a Falcon Almaher's mare, Mystic Rocky, owned by Almond, Collins, and Collins. They're of Ohio and Florida, trained and driven by Dean Collins. That's 2 wins on this evening's card for Dean. giving a driving double. It's 2 wins also from Dean's Barn, giving him a conditioning double as well. Conditioning and driving double for Dean Collins. The 7 firm decision return 1720. 620, 660. Second was the 3 JC Pride, $10, 640. Third of the 6 Stolen Property, returning 1520. The 7-3 Exacta, $327.20. And the 7-3-6 Tri Boxcars, $3,056.20. Said 1 wide per sub. $3,600 Exacta's Tries, late pick 3s. Drivers change of the 9 Cashman, Jim Daly. The 1 is Lamb Peter, owned and trained by Randy Lee Owens, 11 in Ohio. Jeff Ace Nicehonger is up. The 2 is Fred in Full Stride, owned by Reed Racing in the big city of Newark, Ohio, trained and driven by Dean Collins. The 3 is Herschel Kiss, owned and trained by John Nelson, Perrin, 11 in Ohio, J.D. Perrin, the reinsman. The 4 is CR Colorado Kid, owned and trained by Eddie Poy, 11 in Ohio, Jeff Fout. The 5 Matador Monster, the lessee is Dean Mosier of London, Ohio, trained by Jennifer Woodruff with Ryan Goldenhand Stall. The 6 Rockin' Man, owned by William Young of Grove City, Ohio, trained and driven by Terry Groves. The 7 Soki's Patron, owned by Victor Gray, the 2nd of South Lebanon, Ohio, and Wilson of Oregon, Ohio, trained by Victor Gray, the 2nd, Brett Miller. The 8 Positive Scooter, owned by Marvin Godown of Greenville, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. And for the outside of the 9 Cashman, owned by Jody Sanders of Grove City, Ohio, trained by Mike Metters, Jim Daly, and the Sulky. That's the field for the 9th. The gate swings into the back stretch, and there they go. Field in motion. Being sent on their way. They're all fan pacing and moving away from the inside. There goes Lamb Peter, middle of the track. Matador Monster is on the go. 3 wide to join the fray. That is Cashman driving up there. Away in 4, that is Fred in Full Stride. 5th at the pylons, Herschel Kiss. Caught to the outside in 6, Soki's Patron. From the rail racing in 7, that is CR Colorado Kid. Followed in 8th by Positive Scooter, and a gapped out 9th and trailing Rockin' Man as they step around the first turn and over to the opening quarter. On top of the field and driving up on the outside here, Cashman to take the lead from Lamb Peter. The opening quarter came and went in 28 seconds flat. Along the inside, racing in 3rd, that is Matador Monster. 4th at the pylons, Fred in Full Stride. 5th and hung out the dry there, Soki's Patron. 6th and moving up with that cover, that is CR Colorado Kid. Followed in 7th there by Rockin' Man, and 8th and trailing the field, and a ground-saving journey there for Positive Scooter as they step around the clubhouse turn in front of the paddock and on over to the half. Being led up top by Cashman on the point. Lamb Peter still right there, nose to helmet, racing in 2. Up on the outside, hung the entire mile in 3rd, that is Soki's Patron. They're halfway home in 58 1/5. Off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4, locked in at the rail. Matador Monster in 4. 2nd over the outside, racing in 5th, that is CR Colorado Kid. Buried at the pylons in 6th, Fred in Full Stride. 3rd over on the outside, racing in 7th, that is Rockin' Man. On the inside in 8th, Herschel Kiss, and 4th over and 9th and trailing Positive Scooter is swung to the outside as they step towards the 3/4 mile mark of the race. Cashman up top here takes them 3/4 and 128 flat. Backside 29 4. They'll pace the final turn and head for home, and Cashman under a couple tippy taps of the whip there, leading it by a length to the outside. Soki's Patron still there, still coming to him, awaiting the passing lane. Lamb Peter, and swung out 3 wide. Here comes CR Colorado Kid to the top of the stretch, less than an 1/8 of a mile to pace, and down the stretch they come. Cashman being urged on. Lamb Peter up the inside is trying to come on as they come to the wire. Cashman hangs on to win it. Lamb Peter to go 2nd. Matador Monster was 3rd at the time of the mile, 1:57 2/5. Cashman 5 in a row at Scioto Downs. Off the late pick 3 in 1:57 2, 5 in a row here at Scioto Downs. The 8th win in 2004 in just 13 tries. Here's the 9 Cashman, a 9-year-old brown horse by Call for Rain out of a duplicate mare, Carmia Duplicity, owned by Jody Sanders of Grove City, Ohio, trained by Mike Metters. Nicely catch driven to victory by Jim Daly. That's 2 catch drives for Jim this evening, giving him a driving double as he steers the 9 Cashman home a winner in 1:57 2. Now your official winner, 915 official. And the 9 Cashman returning $3, 280. Second, the 1 Lamb Peter returning $6, $6. Third of the 5 Matador Monster returning $360. The 9-1 Exacta 34.40. 915 Try 191.40.
The double Exacta trifecta. Presenting the field, the 1 Noble Grinder, owned by Richard Schultz, trained by Ray Thiel, Jeff Nicehonger. The 2, Drum King, owned and trained by George Anthrop, Kane Kaufman. 3, Cam's Laughing Boy, owned by Jason Martz, trained by Chris Short, Brett Miller. 4, Colby's Future, owned by Joseph Shamaya, trained by Mike Riley, Tony Rose. 5, Galvanos Scooter, owned by Todd Luther, John Robinson Trains, Kyle Ader. The 6, Viverick, owned and trained by Tom Gray or Ryan Stahl. 7, Vincello Hanover, the lessee Russell Early III, trainer Russell Early Jr., Adam Rucker. Rounding out the field, the 8, Magic by Mike, owned by Davis and King, trained by Brandon Piguet, Trent Tharps. The last late double of the 2004 season. They move on to the backstretch. Approaching the start. Fields in motion. They're up. Cam's Laughing Boy leaving well on the outside. Vincello Hanover. From the inside, Drum King, the early leader. Cam's Laughing Boy by 2. Racing in second, Drum King. Parked on the outside, Vincello Hanover. Tucked in fourth is Noble Grinder. 2 lengths back to Colby's Future. Then it's Galvanos Scooter, followed by Viverick, the early trailer. Magic by Mike, approaching the opening quarter-mile marker. Brett Miller and Cam's Laughing Boy a length and a half. Drum King racing in second, still parked on the outside. Vincello Hanover off the opening quarter, 28-1. Into the stretch for the first time. Cam's Laughing Boy a length and a half. Drum King tracking second, parked on the outside third. Vincello Hanover tucked in fourth. Noble Grinder. Second over in fifth is Galvano Scooter. And nowhere to go, Colby's Future. Third over, Viverick, the early trailer. Magic by Mike. 5 lengths would cover them all into the clubhouse turn. Cam's Laughing Boy still the leader. Racing in second, Drum King on the outside. Vincello Hanover been hung the mile. Second over in fourth, Galvano Scooter. Tucked in fifth, Noble Grinder off the half. 58-2 out of the turn. They curve onto the back stretch. Cam's Laughing Boy still the leader. Vincello Hanover, the rough strip second. 3 wide, Galvano Scooter was third. Now second, gapped in the pocket, Drum King. 3 wide, Viverick, nowhere to go. Noble Grinder dropping back, Vincello Hanover. Then it's Magic by Mike and Colby's Future approaching the 3/4 mile marker. Cam's Laughing Boy still there. The 3/4 mile marker reached by Cam's Laughing Boy, 127-3. Into the far turn on the outside, second Galvano Scooter. On the inside, third is Drum King. Fourth is Viverick. Fifth is Noble Grinder. They wind their way to the top of the stretch. Brett Miller and Cam's Laughing Boy, the leader by 2. Racing in second, Drum King parked on the outside. Galvano Scooter, 3 wide. Viverick coming up the inside. Noble Grinder in deep stretch. Cam's Laughing Boy, Brett Miller has done it again. This one, 4 lengths on the wire, up for second. Noble Grinder might have been Drum King third. 156-2, Cam's Laughing Boy. Results are official. The 3, Cam's Laughing Boy, returning 220, 220, 220. The 1, Noble Grinder, 580, 520. The 2, Drum King, 380. The exacta 3 and 1 at $20. The try 3, 1 and 2, 74.20. Making his way to the winner's circle for the 5th time this evening, Brett Miller with a 3, Cam's Laughing Boy, owned by Jason Martz, trained by Chris Short. Again for Brett Miller, his 5th winner of the night.
The 1, Jade Star, the driver Tony Rose. Note the 8, Cowboy Herb on the Lasix medication. The 10, Ty Rogers from the second tier. Here's the field. The 1 is Jade Star, owned and trained by Donald Miller of West Jefferson, Ohio. Tony Rose, the pilot. With the 2 is Warraway Blue, owned by Keely Moore of Mendon, Ohio, trained by Roy Murphy with Adam Rucker. The 3 is Stand and Destroy, owned by Steve Kaufman of Arcanum, Ohio, and the Cool Million stable at Dayton, Ohio, trained and driven by the K-Man, Kane Kaufman. Number 4 is Game Joseph, owned by Daniel Lees of Fremont, Ohio, trained and driven by Ryan Goldenhand Stoll. The 5 is The Upsetter, owned by June Stone, 11 in Ohio, trained by Eddie Pulling, Kyle Ader. The 6, Moonlight Draker, owned by the Serenity Point, Estelle, Ohio, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr., Brett Miller drives. The 7, D Felice, owned by Terry Hall of Cincinnati, Ohio, who also trains Trent Tharps. With the 8, Cowboy Herb, owned by Jason Martz of Hudson, Michigan, trained by Christopher Short. Ace Nicehonger. With the 9 is Dockside, owned and trained by Robert Drogan of Bell Fountain, Ohio, Jeff Fount. And for the second tier, number 10, Ty Rogers, owned and trained by John Nelson, Perrin 11 in Ohio, J.D. Perrin in the sulky. That's the field for the 11th and final. Swings into the back stretch, and there they go for one final time in 2004. Field in motion. Being sent on their way. They're all fan pacing in the final race in 2004 here at Scioto Downs, and Stand and Destroy the K-Man has rolled this one out for the lead. Game Joseph is coming away, racing in 2. On the inside in 3rd, that is Warrawee Blue. In between them, racing in 4th there, that is D. Felice. Inside in 5th from the second tier, that is Ty Rogers. Outside of there in 6th, Rough Gated and off stride went Cowboy Herb. Sliding through to be 6th now, that is the upsetter. 7th along the inside of Moonlight Raker. As they step towards that opening quarter, the opening quarter came and went in 28 2/5, and we find Stand and Destroy the K-Man out there on the point, leading it by a length and a quarter. Into the inside, Game Joseph in 2, Warrawee Blue racing in 3rd. 4th there, that is Ty Rogers. Tipped to the outside in 5, Jade Star. 6th is D. Felice. 7th is the upsetter who tips up there. 8th on the outside, Dockside. 9th is Moonlight Raker, and 10th and trailing off stride, Cowboy Herb. Around the clubhouse turn they go in front of the paddock and on over to the half. Stand and Destroy the K-Man out there on the front through a half in 58 seconds flat. Into the inside, Game Joseph is racing in 2 and now wheeled first up on the outside in 3rd. Warrawee Blue off the turn and driving down the backside. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 from the inside in 4th. 2nd there. 2nd over now, tipping off the pylons. That is Ty Rogers. Pendant at the pylons in 5th. That is D. Felice. Outside in 6th, Jade Star. 7 to the inside, Moonlight Raker. 8th and swung up 3 wide to the outside of the upsetter. 9th there along the inside, Dockside. And 10th and trailing Cowboy Herb. They went 3/4 in 1:28 2/5. They'll pace the final turn and head for home for the final time in 2004. Stand and Destroy still there with a lead by a neck. Warrawee Blue laboring a bit in 2 and awaiting the passing lane. That is Game Joseph. Swung up 3 wide, Ty Rogers to the top of the stretch. Less than an 1/8 of a mile to go. And down the stretch they come, and Warrawee Blue swallowed up Stand and Destroy, and is going on here up the inside. Here's Game Joseph way out wide. Moonlight Raker charging hard, and it's fitting for Brett Miller and Virgil Morgan Jr. to take the last race in 2004 here at Scioto Downs. Moonlight Raker 159 flat. Side of the winner's circle. Unofficial winner of the 11th and final race in 2004. It's the 6th Moonlight Raker. 10-year-old Bay Got him a noble line salmon of a meadow skipper mare. Rode that Hanover, West Serenity Point, Estelle, Ohio, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. Nicely handled here this evening by winning driver Brett Miller. We salute you, Brett. Ask myself only where did you come from? Looked like a helicopter was going to need you to get out of there at the top of the stretch. 6th win tonight for the 6th Moonlight Raker and Brett Miller, home a winner. Virgil Morgan Jr., it's only fitting that they close the door on 2004 with a win here. Top trainer and driver, Virgil Morgan Jr. and Brett Miller. .420, late pick 3, 3 of 3, 1180. Judge Larry Richard, associate judge.